afternoon. I'm Jamie Gates. We're here with your Conway Chamber COVID Business Brief. I'm joined by Jeff Standridge, Managing Director of The Conductor. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Yeah, we're trying to get a lot of content. We've been kind of taking over people's Facebook feed this afternoon, but we're breaking it into chunks. Brad gave us an overview, really kind of the local economy, what the Chamber has been doing, introducing kind of this platform. We heard from Jason Culpepper, our past chair and regional president with Simmons Bank, about how to talk to your lender, how to prepare yourself for those conversations. But wanted to get you in here to talk about the Conductor, its relationship with the SBA. SBA has been one of the most highly publicized modes of response to the business community, and talk about how small businesses evaluate whether they want to participate.
Yeah. So we are a contractor with the Small Business Administration. We have one of 14, actually 2 of 14 if you count our Northwest Arkansas colleagues, the Ozark Regional Innovation Cluster. We have the Conductor Regional Innovation Cluster here in Central Arkansas, which includes Faulkner and 10 other counties, kind of in a northern, western to eastern northern arc across Faulkner County.
Yeah, and what might that geography look like? Not county by county, but
so
place by place.
Perry County, over to Dardanelle, Russellville, Clarksville, over to Morrilton, Van Buren County, all the way over to Cleburne, White, Lone Oak, and North Pulaski.
Yeah, so as you know, if you're tuning in, if you're watching, or you know someone who does business in those counties, you are specifically speaking to them.
Absolutely.
And you're a specific resource to those businesses as they pursue this.
By virtue of the Conductor, we're and our colleagues in Northwest Arkansas, Startup Junkie, we are opening ourselves to the entire state. Absolutely. But certainly in those service areas where we have direct contact on a daily basis. That's absolutely right.
Let's, so the governor is doing a live press conference right now. Let's actually keep going. We're gonna record this, and we'll keep plugging away.
So we're opening ourselves up to the entire state for any services that are needed in terms of coaching, consulting, and mentoring, and what have you. But in terms of the counties that we touch directly, we're working with those as well.
So you were involved, this was last week, kind of in anticipation of some of what we're now realizing, getting a survey out specifically about, is your business, do you anticipate needing help from the SBA? Tell us a little bit about the results of that survey within the region.
So we were on the phone with Edward Haddock, who leads our regional SBA office, and we were anticipating that the governor has to declare a state of emergency, submit that state of emergency to the SBA, and get officially cleared as an eligible state to participate in what the SBA is calling their Disaster Recovery Loan Program. At that time, they were expecting the request to come through mayors and county judges to get to the governor, and we said, we think we can streamline that process, and so we created a couple of surveys, one focused on our regional, Ozark Regional Innovation Cluster, one focused on our Central Arkansas cluster. And since, I guess we published that survey Saturday morning, and since that time we've collected almost 800 responses. There were 3 questions. Who are you? How do we get in touch with you? I guess 4 questions. Where are you located? And what's the state of your business impact? Are you down in client traffic or client volume? Are you down because of supply chain disruptions? What's the nature of your business impact? We gave those to the governor, and he has actually declared that state of emergency. And so right now we're just waiting for the SBA to formally process that and get it up on their site so that distressed businesses can then apply for that disaster recovery loan program. I will tell you, since we downloaded that list yesterday morning and sent it to the governor's office, we've had over 100 additional responses. So we are keeping that list open. We're pushing people to go to the Conductor's Facebook page. That's at Facebook at AR Conductor. You may have to scroll a little bit, but find that survey and complete it, because that is the email list that we are using to communicate updates to distressed businesses about the status of that loan program. Of course, we'll be posting it on our Facebook page, sending it to our our normal email list, but that one absolutely is the one we're putting priority on.
Yeah, and we're instructing people to find the economic injury worksheet. So fill out the survey on the conductor's Facebook page. Fill out something called the economic injury worksheet.
And you can find it there as well.
Yep. Send that. That is going through Adam, and
That's
so
right.
you'll see a state domain email address that you're supposed to send that into. And we've told people to go ahead, get on the SBA website, and create a login and create an account, because we expect maybe early as next week.
That's right. So several things they need to do. They need to get their financial house in order, right? So they're going to need to get their tax returns, profit and loss statements, statement of financial impact, getting all of those things together. If they go to the SBA website and look at the list of requirements, we're anticipating, based upon our conversations with the SBA, that it could take from the time you submit the application until the time that you have a loan funded 3 to 4 weeks. And that's a critical period. So what you don't want to do is have that time delayed because you're having to get information together that you could be pulling together right now.
Yeah, and so when we talked to Jason Culpepper with Simmons, we said go and talk to your lender. There's also a likelihood that the SBA is going to ask you how to have your conversations with your lender gone.
That's
so
right.
it's a both and. Even if you think you're a perfect fit for an SBA loan.
Well, keep in mind that SBA loan is going to come from your lender. The SBA does not loan money, they guarantee those loans. And so we've been telling, and I've got a few tips I'd like to share before we get out of here today. We've been telling all of the folks that we coach and consult with, and we've literally been doing them around the clock practically. I think I started my first one at about 6:30 this morning, and then we're doing them up into the night last night, that if you are in financial distress, you are having cash flow issues, sit down with your banker. That banker should be your quarterback in working through what the alternatives are. We know that the FDIC has given some guidance to the banks to lighten up some of the regulatory requirements around extension of payments or interest only or what have you. So sit down with that banker, because you're ultimately going to have to go to them to work through an SBA loan as well. So.
And do take a look at the specific paperwork you need. So part of this is, the mental work and the forecasting exercises you have to do as a business person, but this is a disaster, and the response is hopefully quick and helpful, but it is still a government program, and you're going to have to be buttoned up.
That's right. And I will tell you, our team is working on a guide that's kind of a step-by-step instruction guide, and we're piecing that together from multiple locations, and we will publish that as soon as we get final word that the state of Arkansas has been cleared as eligible on the SBA site. So we'll provide that to you, but the information's out there already. I teach entrepreneurs all the time, no guessing. If someone asks you a question about this process and you have to say, I think, then you're guessing. So there's no need to guess. The information's out there. Make a list of everything that you have to get together. Start getting that information together. Get with your CPA if you have to. Get with your banker. And be ready so that when Arkansas is cleared as an eligible state, you can apply immediately. Because we're looking three weeks or so of processing time.
So we do need, the whole idea of giving businesses cash flow and improving their liquidity, injecting new capital or operating capital from the SBA, and even the ideas of sending checks to consumers around the country. I mean, it presupposes that economic activity is going to keep taking place. And so there are some business people also need revenue, and they need to innovate. And you can be ethically opportunistic without exploiting a situation. And you've had some of those conversations.
I've had lots of those conversations. I had one person who said, look, the service that we provide right now is perfect for people who don't want to deal with the grocery store situation, but I don't want to sound like an ambulance chaser. I had another person who came to me and said, look, I help people with cash flow issues by helping them do some alternative financing arrangements, but I don't want to sound opportunistic or like I'm taking advantage. And my communication back to them is that if you have a product or a service that people need, irrespective of this environment, but if they need it more so as a result of this environment, you have a moral and ethical obligation to tell them about it, literally. And so the guidance that I give is to step back and to think about yourself as the customer. And how would you want to be communicated to if you were the recipient of that service or you were the intended customer? And bounce it off of a few people. I am not advocating that people try to take it lightly and use humor. I don't think this is a time for that. I think people need to be real. They need to talk about the relevancy of their products or services. They need to put themselves in the shoes of their customer and think about how they would want to be communicated to. But at the end of the day, they have an ethical obligation to help people make the connection between the environment that we're in and how their product or service solves a problem during this time.
I think this is a really good time for referrals and testimonials, where if you solve a problem for someone, go ahead and ask them, say, hey, it's a difficult time to talk about your business and to even do business. Are you comfortable giving a referral or a testimonial?
Absolutely. We had that conversation with someone yesterday, and I told them, I said, this person actually made a post about you shipping something to their door and how much it helped them. Make a call to them, tell them how much you appreciate it, and ask them if they would post a 15-second video about it. And so, absolutely, fair game in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, we need to be sensitive, but all of these plans that we've talked about assume that people are still going to get out there and do business with each other. And so we just need to be transparent and talk about what that means.
I tell them to, and most people have already done this, most businesses have already done this, but look at your business and reduce the number of human interaction points in your business and figure out a way to continue serving them conveniently, safely, and in a way that contributes to their own sense of well-being. You see restaurants doing curbside service. You see them using delivery services, and some of them are going remotely and online, and that's one of the second tips that I give is if you've not gone to an online selling strategy, do it now. And I use telemedicine or telehealth as an example. For the last 5 years, telehealth has languished, really not been adopted very heavily by the patient population or the provider population, but out of necessity, right now, it is at an all-time high. I was just telling Jason just a few moments ago that I believe going forward, the nature of telehealth has changed the way healthcare will be delivered because of this environment that we're in right now. And so, for innovation to occur, there has to be constraints. If you don't have constraints, there's no need to innovate. We just keep doing things the way we've always done them. But it's when these constraints are placed upon us that we have to figure out new ways of doing business. And so I encourage all of our entrepreneurs to do that. Look at your business, figure out ways. If you have to send people home, send them home with a customer list. Send them home with a social media list of tasks to begin doing some social selling, some email selling, or what have you. But don't forget your online remote delivery capabilities.
Yeah. Well, I always want to thank our crew here at City Church. They're letting us get this message out in a way that we hope looks really great for the end user, and they're helping us with all of the technical needs. And so, just another there's a problem solved
right there
for our group, and we appreciate it. And just want to encourage people. Everything we said, some of the fundamental things we said will be true. Hopefully for years to come, but the situation is going to change day by day. So please stay in touch with the conductor for all your entrepreneurial and small business issues as this situation evolves. Obviously, we want you to stay in touch with the chamber. Our organizations work together very closely. We're going to post and link all those documents to our stuff.
People may not understand or really know that everything that the conductor does is of no cost to the entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and small business owners. Our funding comes from sources like the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, the Small Business Administration, University of Central Arkansas, and a number of other corporate partners. So if you go to www.arconductor.org, you click on Let's Talk, you can schedule a coaching session with me, with Grace, with Tiffany, and that is provided. We're doing it virtually now via either telephone or Zoom. And we do that free of charge, and regardless of the issue, we're happy to help.
Great. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.